Going to be going on to the fine grit. And now we'll actually see it start to take some shape of nice smooth edge. And I'll show you that once I'm done. So before I move on to the super fine stone, I'll give you a comparison here. So we started off with this guy, super rough, and then we are going to get down to this guy, nice and smooth. This will actually give a nice, not so much a polished edge, like a mirror finish, but it'll give a very nice quality of an edge. And what I'll also do with these is not necessarily strop it. I don't use a leather and honing compound. What I actually use is a composite wheel, which I'll show you guys later when I get to it. But let's get going. Always add just a little bit of oil or WD-40 or water, just to give a little bit of a buffer on getting those metal particles or shavings or whatever you want to call them just out of the pores of the stone or the diamond blocks. When I get done with this step, you'll see me flip the blade over. I don't flip it from untightening it and flipping it. I'll actually flip the whole entire thing, so I don't lose this position. Because if I have this back a little bit too far or front a little bit too far, it actually might slightly change this angle from where I actually started from. So usually whenever you guys put a blade in here, unless there's a known register point, don't take the blade off until you are completely finished with it. Now, if you move it, if you don't put it in the exact location and start sharpening again, if you get it close, it won't matter because you'll sharpen that spot to the new angle just fine. Little time and effort. If you guys keep your tools, knives, axes, whatever, nice and sharp, then you don't really need to do a lot of sharpening, just more or less just honing and making sure that edge is nice and sharp. So we'll look at that edge real quick, show you the difference between when we started with the extra coarse stone compared to what the sapphire stone, the ultra fine, will actually give you on this system. So just 1 second. I'll zoom in a little bit. See, look at that edge. Much nicer. nice and shiny. That's over here too. So now what's nice cool is, see if I can find it. So you can actually see that little bit of flex and that nice, that odd, that different shine. That is actually they call it a foil. And what I want to do is go on the other side of this blade. And actually, I might be actually peel it off. Maybe not. Sometimes if you get them, change it so much, you can actually break it off a little bit and just it'll peel right off. That's okay. Luckily, we can actually just flip it over. And what I usually go to is just the medium to start off with. We're just trying to break that angle or break that edge. We're not really trying to make a full bevel on this side. Just enough to break that edge and go from there. And sometimes with this, if you go up, you might feel it catch. So I tend to go down a little bit from the first one, and then on the next couple start going up. This is whenever you're going to start sharpening both sides. And what I actually tend to do for this, instead of having it in the clamp, I'll actually just hold this guy in my hand, and I'll show you that here in a second. I'm trying to get this guy. There we go. So you can actually see that foil. Oh. You can actually just peel right off. But still going to sharpen it a little bit. Hone that off completely. Booyah. What I actually do is just kind of hold it. You don't need to clamp it, but sometimes it helps. And I actually don't, when I start doing the foil final hone, I don't go up any higher than the fine. And when I go this last little bit, I usually count how many times I go over the edge and then repeat it on the other side. And you can see when I do this, it sets my angle every time. I'm not trying to dig into the blade, just nice and smooth. I'm going to flip it over, go to the fine grit, or fine stone, which is actually called, in the Lansky's series, the sapphire one. There you go. So it's looking pretty good. I don't feel much of a burr or a piece of, foil as they call it on it. So now I'm just going to be going 1 for 1 until I'm satisfied. Or maybe 3. So there you go. That is, so this one compared to this guy, the back edge. So you can see a big difference in the angle, especially in the tip as well. The back edge compared to this guy. This one I have not sharpened yet. So there's a little bit of an angle. There's a little bit on this one too, but just a little bit. Now let's test it out. I usually do a paper test. Now I'll still do some honing on this one a little bit later, but I'll show you that. I'll show you that. So, boom. So nice and smooth. It doesn't pull, it doesn't catch, except for when it Gets to the striations, of course. Take the tip. Not too bad. A little bit of catching on there, which I can just kind of fix for the next one. And then on the next video, I will get my composite wheel out and I'll do some more freehand honing on those, make those a little bit better, and go from there. Thanks, guys.